Silly rabbit. A rabbit cute dream, kitty.
Welcome, listeners. You just heard an audio clip of a live drag performance by Galactica Couture, a persona brought to life by Letty. Picture this, Galactica with long electric blue hair in a Street Fighter outfit inspired by Mortal Kombat's katana, featuring a rhinestone alien head design at its center. Today, we will explore their journey as a new performer in Denver's local drag scene into the art of transformation and community. Let's hear from Galactica herself as she introduces the person behind the persona.
So I would just introduce myself as Galactica Couture, and just like I'm very extraterrestrial in my thinking, and I always have been. Yeah, I would just introduce myself as like your neighborly extraterrestrial weirdo, honestly. I think that's it. That's the best way to describe it. I've always tried so many different things in my life and so many different like art forms, and I've never like fit into those boxes. But here I'm just so outer worldly and so different, and like it's accepted, and it's great.
Becoming Galactica Couture takes more than a costume change. It's a transformation. For Letty, the shift happens as she prepares for a show. But the real magic begins when the music starts and she embodies her higher self.
Do a lot of prep work for the shows that I'm doing. So maybe I have a show one evening, and like during the day, I'll make sure that all my costumes are getting sewed. I'll practice like all my dance performances, stretch. And then when I'm like getting into drag, that's when I kind of have a moment to like listen to music and kind of just like start getting into that zone where I can kind of make that switch.
So it's a sense of kind of like you're going through this process of mentally preparing yourself for your performances. In the beginning of your journey, was it really hard to get into your persona? Was a little bit of your, Letty still showing in Galactica as in the beginning stages?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm still trying to like think of myself as like a whole new persona, and like sometimes because out of drag I'm a brunette, but like in drag I'm typically blonde or some other like wild color, and so like looking at myself in the mirror I'm like, oh my god, wait, I'm a totally different person. I really want her to have all the elements and like personality traits and things that I aspire to have one day. So I really think of her as like my higher self in a way, and someone that I potentially would want to be. And so it's been really helpful, like I said before, just in my day-to-day where like I'm starting to exhibit those personality traits.
Letty describes herself as more cautious outside of drag, especially in professional spaces. But when she becomes Galactica, that changes. Drag allows her to express her creativity without judgment.
Definitely a difference. I find that I'm more cautious in my day-to-day outside of drag, especially because my 9-to-5 is more a professional space, and so I kind of have to hold myself a little bit differently. But then when I'm in drag, that's when I get to totally let loose and express my creativity in the weirdest forms, and it's just like a space where I can be fully myself and accepted no matter what I bring to the table. And so there's definitely a difference between me inside of drag versus out.
Letty has always been drawn to the stage. Attending drag shows and feeling inspired, she no longer wanted to watch from the sidelines, but instead wanted to be on stage, creating and performing for others.
So I've always been a lover of the stage, and I've been going to local shows here in Denver since the end of last year. And I kept going to all these shows, and I kept seeing all these RuPaul's Drag Race performers come to Denver, and they do their show. And there is one particular show with Mirage, and I was like, I don't want to sit here in the audience anymore. Like, I want to be on that stage. And so I found a drag queen workshop with Gila Moonstar. So you do like a little like how to with like makeup and your outfit and all that stuff. And then afterwards you do a performance. And so I did that with her, and I just knew that's exactly what I needed to be doing. And then she's just been taking me on all of her shows. She took me on the main stage at Pride for Denver this year, which was really cool, as one of her dancers.
Within, it's kind of like collaborating and welcoming within the community.
Yes, exactly.
As a new performer, Letty initially feared not being accepted, especially as a cis woman, a term used to describe someone whose gender identity matches the sex they were assigned at birth. However, the drag community, which embraces people of all genders and identities, including drag kings, queens, and non-binary performers, welcomed her with open arms, showing her that drag is for anyone.
But the door, especially in Denver, the drag scene is really big here. So it's really about building like community and connection and just like really getting yourself out there. But people have been so welcoming and supportive, especially because like as a cis woman going into this space, I was really nervous about that too. That was like probably my biggest concern. Before I started drag, I was literally Googling like, can cis women be drag queens? And so I was a little nervous about it at first, but no one's ever batted an eye. No one's ever asked a question. Everyone's just like, okay, and so that's been really nice. But yeah, so it's really about building that connection and meeting people.
Letty has a simple advice for anyone wanting to enter the world of drag. Whether creating a character, finding resources online, or stepping onto the stage for the first time, she encourages aspiring performers to focus on having fun and embracing their individuality.
So my first step of advice here is just do the thing. If you don't know how to do the thing, YouTube will be your drag mother. You can find literally anything on YouTube. You can find out how to do makeup. You can figure out how to sew things. You can go on Facebook Marketplace and find an outfit. There's always ways to become a drag queen or a drag king or a drag thing. Those are all different parts of the drag community, but no matter what you want to do in drag, like just do it. Find your resources, figure out, really sit down and sit with yourself and be like, okay, who do I want to be? What do I want this to look like? Create like a storyline for yourself, like a character. Just be like, okay, here's this person's name. Like, where do they come from? And having the confidence to do it. And I'm here to tell you, it is the most scary thing ever. Like, I'm by no means, like, I'm shaking before every performance because it's so scary. But knowing that whatever happens, it's gonna happen and you're gonna have a good time. The audience is gonna have a good time no matter what you do. Like, they're gonna clap for you and you just gotta have fun with it. Also, that's the main thing too. It should be fun and you should always find the fun. A lot of the times people will be like, oh, I want to make this a career, which is great. And that's when you kind of start getting into the drama of things and it gets too serious. So just have fun. Just enjoy yourself. That's what it's about.
After speaking with Letty, it's clear that drag is a powerful blend of art and self-empowerment. For her, becoming Galactica Couture means stepping into a higher self, a space of freedom that influences her life both and outside of drag. Letty's journey highlights the importance of community where individuality is celebrated, and drag becomes a transformative journey of both being and becoming. Thank you for listening.